Welcome back to Travels of Preston. If this is your first time stopping by, salute to you. You can catch me every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on my channel, where I will be discussing travel recommendations, travel tips, and just about anything dealing with travel. Do not forget to open the description box and check out my other links to my Instagram and Facebook. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to become part of the travel family. It is very important to leave a comment because I love feedback from y'all and it tells me what you think about today's episode. Also, check out my previous episodes and let me know what you think about them as well. All right, so today's episode, I have my wife again, Lavie. She just decided to join again because we're talking about my favorite place in the world, which is Egypt. So, overall, Egypt is my number one place I've ever been in my life. Period. Hands down. Not even close. It's like it's the Michael Jordan of of places to go in the world. I can't wait to go back. I mean, just the atmosphere, the culture. Just I can't. It's so hard to put into words. Like I wanted to. A couple of points I wanted to cry. Just because it brings that emotion. At least out of me, and I'm not a very emotional guy, but this is something that I've always wanted to do, always wanted to go, and I'm glad I got to share it with you. That was our first time in Africa, and also first time, going to Egypt.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you felt when you went to Egypt?
I think just being in the midst of such grand architecture that predates any other architecture.
Predates Christ.
It was an amazing feeling. I felt a sense of accomplishment to be able to be in front of those buildings, touching them, going inside of them.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience and I'll never forget it.
I mean, like I said, that's why I can't stress enough how dope Egypt is, will always be. It's almost. If I never get to travel again, I can literally say I've been to Egypt and seen that civilization. So that was pretty dope. So we spent almost 2 weeks in Egypt, right, for our anniversary. As you can see, every year for our anniversary we try to go places. So how we did it was we kind of just broke it down to the cities. That's how I want to do today's episode. That way we don't just start, rambling, but like that. We break it down by cities. All right, we went to about how many cities? I think about six cities, five or six cities, in about 2 weeks span. So we got to cover a lot of ground. And obviously I didn't get to see all the cities I want to, but that's why I got to go back.
Right.
But definitely, we did a private tour, Memphis tour groups. Please use them. They was outstanding. At the time, I was, we were real big into Black travel movement. And, we used to see other people going to Egypt and, what tours they used to use. And then, I think I just happened to stumble upon Memphis tours out of somebody used them.
Yeah.
And
with great reviews.
Great reviews, just not, maybe not real known. But, I was like, but their prices were great. And soon as we did it, we prepaid everything. So all we had to do was just show up. Everything was already prepaid. Just show up.
Yeah.
They was on time every day at the hotel. They picked us up on time, like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. They literally stayed in contact with us throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So even after they dropped us off at like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, they made sure to say, hey, you guys are good. You guys need anything? They even on the way home, if you ask them and say, hey, man, do you mind stopping at McDonald's or you mind stopping over here? Or, hey, can you take me over here to do this? They were like, oh, yeah, sure. No extra charge, no gripes, no complaints. That's why, I felt like I'm not a big tipper, but I definitely felt great that I tipped them pretty much every day. The driver and the personal tour guide.
Yeah.
So outstanding.
Fantastic.
5 stars across the board for everything. Knowledge, clean vehicle, picking us up on time.
Courteous.
There was no hiccups. There was no oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought we can get you in today, or I thought we had tickets already. No, completely A1 across the board. So I just wanted to really give them a shout out in the beginning. Memphis Tours, Egypt. Please look them up if you ever go to Egypt. Use them. All right, so the first city, obviously, we're going to talk about Cairo. So Cairo, we stayed near, well, actually, we stayed on the outside of Cairo. It was Giza. We was more in Giza than we was in Cairo.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be close to the pyramids. And when I mean close, I mean like, it was like 5 minutes from the pyramids?
We wanted to be within view of them from the hotel.
Yeah, so from our hotel room, we had the pyramid view room. And literally, I just imagine looking out, at nighttime with the moon and the pyramids are lit up at night and you could just see the pyramids of Giza. Like, oh my gosh, like that was so amazing to me. And then so they say in the morning, we got to see them, whatever. And then so the hotel that we stayed at had a rooftop. So we would go to the rooftop at night.
Yeah, every night.
Not during the day, because we went during the summer and it was
pretty hot.
It was blazing hot, So we made sure, if you love yourself, don't go to Africa, period, in the summer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just joking. Go to Africa anytime you guys want. But I like to say, for me, it was very hot.
Just a warning.
Yeah, just a warning. Just a little warning from, Preston. So like I said, we went to the pyramids of Giza. I was under the impression that these were going to be American bricks. Like, there was going to be billions of bricks. No, they was literally...
They were my height.
They was 5-foot stone boulders. I was like, how the hell did they erect this, And I know there's a lot of, theories and conspiracies and stuff like that about aliens or, whatever. Believe what you want to believe, But I'm telling you, that's the wildest thing I've ever seen, build a pyramid like that. Just think about the time frame, which is crazy. This is all before Christ. So just to erect something like that, and it's amazing. So, a lot of people think when you go to the pyramids of Giza, there's just 3 pyramids, and there's actually 9. Maybe I think it was 9. It was about 9 pyramids. Obviously, the other ones don't get that much love. People usually talk about the 3 pyramids, but you get to go inside one, which we didn't know. So we learned that on the fly.
Right.
So on the fly, the tour guide was like, "Hey, you guys want to go inside?" Absolutely. So you got to pay a little extra, maybe, I don't know, maybe 20 Egyptian pounds or something like that, whatever it was. So we got to go inside. Now, this is where the struggle comes into, all right? I'm a little sizey, all right? So they got the most narrowest tunnel going into the chamber. And I'm talking about it's 2-way traffic on this, tunnel. And I guess, Egyptians are built differently because I'm American size. So I'm trying to go in there. I'm sweating bullets. I'm greasy. I'm like, damn, man. And, it was the craziest thing. So many steps. I was like, oh my God, we were so tired trying to even get in there. Then we get to the opening and there's nothing in there. I'm like, what's going on? It's cool to say that we've been inside of a pyramid, especially the pyramids of Giza. So, and then just another thing is, when you get inside, there's no pictures, but you have, individuals in there that are standing in there that will take a picture for you.
For a nominal fee.
Yeah, for a nominal fee. So like I said, cash rules. Make sure you have money on you at all times so you don't miss out on those opportunities. So, we took pictures and stuff like that. And you can pretty much stay in there as long as you want. I don't know how long you really want to stay in there. And it really wasn't that hot in the opening. Once you got inside the actual opening, it was actually pretty cool. Mm-hmm. It was just that.
Just the journey to get.
Yeah. Just to get up in there, it was crazy hot.
It was crazy hot. It was a lot of people. And it was a little bit difficult to breathe as well. Yeah,
it was very tight in there. And like I said, people, sucking on your oxygen. So, that was crazy. So that's pretty much the pyramid. But so when we came out, our tour guide, they have this little landing in the more in the desert part of it that you can oversee the pyramids, and in the backdrop is Cairo, the city. So that was pretty cool to see. Um, just nothing but desert though. On one side is just number desert for like miles, and then people just walking around, not walking around, riding around on camels and that nature. And they got like a little small bazaar up there that you could buy little trinkets and stuff like that. So that's where everybody goes to take their little pictures and stuff like that. So obviously, when in Rome, that's what we did. We took pictures, a bunch of pictures up there.
Oh yeah.
Kissing pictures and acting like we're hovering over the pyramids and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we did all that. And then coming down, I thought, because when you see a picture of the pyramids with the Sphinx, you think they're a lot closer.
Right.
Absolutely not. Like, you can walk it, it's very walkable if you want to have a stroke and die. So, I mean, it's all built of like a mile, at least a mile or two between, the pyramids and the Great Sphinx. So, we drove down and we went to the Sphinx, which you can't get that close to. You can't touch it or anything. Like the pyramids you could touch, but the Sphinx you cannot. So we just took pictures with it. We did the famous, kissing. I was like, yo, because everybody was trying to clown me, saying, "Hey man, why you trying to kiss the Sphinx?" Hey, I paid my money just like everybody else. I want what's coming to me. That's how I roll. So I got to do the whole kissing Sphinx thing. We just went, like I said, you pretty much just see the Sphinx. It's beautiful. You can only imagine what it looked like in its, heyday, because everything Egyptians did was in full color. Now, you don't really appreciate it because everything's been worn off.
Right.
But I'll talk about a little later when you go to other regions where stuff is pretty much full color. So, you have anything else you want to add about the Sphinx or the pyramids?
I do want to say that a lot of restoration was being done to the Sphinx. So you have to get certain angles. And, it's always in a different stage when people visit. At the time that we went, it was under restoration, but we still were able to get great shots.
Oh, yeah. We got great shots. And like I said, shout out to our tour guide. She made sure that she got good angles on us, my best side, my good side.
Right.
I don't know what's my good side. I think I'm fine. So that's just what I do. That's just what I am, So yeah, like I said, depending on when you go, you might get different things, whatever. And the same thing, like, attractions might even be closed depending on what's going on at the time of year.
Yeah.
Very dry out there. So just keep that in mind. Hydrate.
It's very important to always have your water with you.
Mm-hmm. So another thing that's actually in Cairo is the Egyptian Museum. Now, when we went, they was working on the new museum, which for, I guess, historical purposes is gonna suck because obviously there's no historical significance to it because it's new. But that was still being built when we went. And I think that should be open now or getting ready to open in 2021. So be on the lookout for that. But if you do get a chance to go, the old museum, once again, this was built in the early 1900s. There's absolutely 100% no AC. No AC whatsoever. I don't give a damn how many open windows, fans. Hey, bro, you gonna sweat out that shirt, all right? And it is hot. Now, you get into the museum, there's about 45 million artifacts or something crazy in there. Yeah. You can take pictures probably about 90% of the museum. Yeah. All right, so about 90% of the museum, you can take. The only places that you can't take picture is King Tut's mask, which is outstanding. I mean, just breathtaking. I'm like, man, like, how did y'all craft that? But, and the mummies. So you can't take pictures of the mummies, which I'm like, I almost snuck a picture. I was like, nah, better not.
Yeah, but there are a lot of eyes that are.
Oh yeah. The eye in the sky. They're always watching, So I did the right thing.
It's impossible.
So I made sure. No, it's not impossible. No. So I made sure I did the right thing. I didn't take any pictures like I was supposed to. But just seeing like the mummies, and you got to see Ramses II, probably the most famous pharaoh besides King Tut or whatever. But like just to see the mummy and just how they just did the whole process because like a lot of the mummies still had hair on it, teeth,
You can still see the
skin. Like it was crazy. Like the bandages they put on. Because I feel like Americans, about 90 days from you dead, you pretty much didn't decompose. You didn't, you're done.
Yeah.
But
they were so well preserved.
Yeah, like just think about how old these mummies were. I mean, they're thousands of years old, and they're still they're still intact. That's just amazing.
It's phenomenal.
So, and then like I said, a lot of things too. They believe in what sucks for the animals. They like, hey, you got a pet? Go ahead and put them up here with me too. So I don't know if they wait for the animal to die, or they just go ahead and off them too. So they had mummified alligators, and I'm like, I didn't see alligators in real life, but those Egyptian like Nile crocodiles, whatever, it was like the largest. I mean, it's like literally damn near 15, 20 feet. I mean, that's what it seemed like. It just seemed like it went on forever.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine them things just running around loose, thousands of years ago. They just, you're supposed to go to the Nile and it's full of crocs. Like, how do you supposed to, deal with that? So yeah, that's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. So like I said, you cannot possibly see every artifact.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. So on our tour guide, she showed us all the highlights. So a lot of highlights. I mean, and actually to be an older museum, it's still pretty large. It's 2 floors, 2 or 3 floors. So you just see as much as you can, because I think it would take over a month or two to see every single artifact.
And to really get into the detail of
like you can't. You're not reading cards.
Yes. Like
just take a picture. Or, look at it, try to, put in a little noodle and just keep it moving. That's about all you can do.
Yeah.
And then the King Tut display. So you actually get to see all the treasures that they found when they, opened it up years ago. And I mean, obviously everything was intact. And you could see the 3 chambers that everything was in, the chariot. You could see his chair, shoes,
jewelry,
everything. So that's pretty, that was pretty astonishing to see all that, in one place, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So definitely that's a must see. You got the Mosque of Muhammad Ali, not the boxer. All right. This is like, I guess they're one of the original Muhammad Ali's, whatever. Now, this place is very interesting being a mosque. I mean, I'm not Muslim, so I don't go to mosque, too often. But obviously we're in the Middle East. And, more or less, that's generally where Muslims, it's a greater population of them. And we went, excuse me, and obviously there's some rules. So some of the rules is like the women, they got to have like their shoulders covered, and you can't walk with your shoes. So you have to pay somebody. You can take your shoes off and wear barefooted, which I was not doing. Or you can pay somebody, I think a couple dollars, and they give you like a little slip-ons that you can put over your shoe. Mm-hmm. And then people were praying in there, and it just opens up to this huge mosque. And, it's very elaborate, like the carpet, because it's all open. Because, we used to like, Christian churches where there's pews and, all that. But there's absolutely not one pew in there. Like it's literally a carpet. That's it. On your knees, sit down. So don't have a bad back, because it's a long way down to that ground. It's a long way back up when you stand up. So that was pretty cool. I mean, what do you think about it?
So I was not dressed appropriately. I didn't know we were going to the mosque that day, but luckily,
you had a little scarf thing.
I had a scarf that was covering me very well. But without that, I would have had to sit out and not go into the mosque. So I was glad that moving forward, I made sure that we always carried an extra scarf just in case for some of the locations, to make sure that I can get in or that I was dressed appropriately.
Yeah. That's like I said, that's very key for women. And we also did a little bit of research on that before we left.
Yeah.
That we want to be respectful of the culture, so that was very important to us. But like I said, when you like leave the mosque, you can go on top of the building and see a 360 view of Cairo. It just looks brown, like every building is brown. But you do got those little big palm tree looking trees, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
So you have that. You also have Cairo Tower, which we didn't really go to. Excuse me, but you could see it. So I guess it's just just a tower. So I mean, it's like Tokyo Tower or the CN Tower in Canada, Toronto. So it's just a tower, just like a little beacon of the city. One of the cool places is the Hanging Church, and the Hanging Church is weird because it's actually suspended above ground.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird. That freaked me out. How you can go inside and you're walking around because you don't feel it sway. I don't remember it swaying, but but you go in there, you can look down in the joints, like the cracks, and you can just see nothing, like just nothing. And it's just like, okay, what is holding this up? So however they created that, just amazing in itself. I've never been in a suspended, building. So that was pretty, freaky. But that church was pretty wonderful too. And it has its own feel to it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Another thing is the Nile River. Like that was, slightly beautiful. It looks better at nighttime. But obviously it's a lot of people in Cairo. So, pollution and, just trash and stuff like that. But it's still awesome. It's the world's largest river. So just to say we've been to the Nile. Man, we also did a dinner cruise on the Nile. Mm-hmm. So that's, amazing. Like at nighttime with the city lights, bright, it's shimmering off the Nile. And we're just on a cruise, literally eating. Like anybody and everybody has to try that.
Yeah.
They have
entertainment.
They have authentic entertainment. They had I don't know what that dude was doing, but he had like that robe and he was doing a bunch of spins.
He was just a dancer.
Yeah, he was a dancer, but he was doing some spinning. And then they had a belly dancer that was doing her thing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And then they had an authentic Egyptian band.
Right.
So, like I said, bring cash too, because we didn't bring a lot of cash that night for whatever reason. And we couldn't do some of the things like the food was included. But if you wanted like some type of spirited beverage, you had to pay in cash. So we didn't know that. We wasn't told that. So so it's letting you guys know if you do the Nile cruise, make sure you bring cash. Okay. All right. So the next city we want to talk about is Alexandria, which is a port city up north. So the Nile dumps into the Mediterranean, which is beautiful. It almost has like a greenish blue hue to it or whatever. At least that's what I looked at it as. It was a real nice city. We just did a day trip there. Yeah. Because we didn't really find that we needed to do multiple days there. We got up there probably about 7 o'clock in the morning and we didn't leave till super late. It's about a 2-hour ride from Cairo City to Alexandria. Yeah. And like I said, we got there. One of the first things we did was we went to the catacombs, which is obviously below ground. And then you have to go down this long spiral, and it just gets dark and more dark. I'm like, oh my God. Hotter. Yeah. So I was like, man, where we going? Because I don't go to catacombs too often. So the experience that was pretty cool. Like I said, you see a lot of bones and all that type of stuff that they're placed, in some type of formation or whatever. So it was pretty cool. We walked around. Got kind of skeptical in there because sometimes like the ceiling was a little low, or like you're walking across a plank, you're like, I don't know, this plank gonna hold me, or how old is this plank? How about last time y'all serviced this plank, So that was pretty scary for me. But it's very well lit down there. Outside of that was, it was just I guess a regular catacombs if you ever been to one, just a lot of a burial ground. So anything else you think about that stood out to you? No. Not for that, yeah. So like I said, it was catacombs. It was really nice. The second place we went to the, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's like the Serapeum and Pompeii's Pillar. So that's like an open area, but it's enclosed, but it's like an open area. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of walk around. They got like a bunch of sphinx, like smaller sphinx, and they're just like placed around I guess the pillar. and that's a very small area. You can do that area within like an hour, I guess.
Not even like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how. Well, I would say hour just because you can go into the tunnels.
Yeah.
So they got a bunch of tunnels that you can go into that is dark, like midnight dark. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the movie The Cave Dark, where creatures are running around, you can't see them. It's that type of dark. So it was pretty cool. Our tour guide showed us how dark you can get in there. Turned off all the lights. I mean, you can't see
anything.
Like inches in front of you, cannot see anything. So she took a bunch of pictures of us with the flash, and we all, it was pretty funny. But that was pretty dope. That was pretty exciting. Like I said, that area was pretty cool to see the pillar. Fun fact, I had that's when I had my, I don't know what the proper term, but I had my man dress on, and I don't wear dresses, so I wasn't used to like stepping like on steps, and I almost tripped and fell. And I was and they kind of laughed at me, but it's okay. I just want, it was just, like I said, I like to immerse myself in the culture, and that's what everybody else is wearing. I wanted to wear that. So that's just a little thing I wanted to throw in there. We also went to Alexandria Port. So we went to the port, and we actually ate lunch on the port that overlooked the Mediterranean Sea, which was just beautiful. And then just how they feed you, this big, large spread that is kind of like a communal thing. Like they just bring enough plates and, stuff out there so everybody can get some of everything. So it's not really, oh, this is mine. Like I ordered this appetizer. It's not, no, it's kind of for everybody, all the dips and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool.
The restaurant was called Africa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that. So, that's another thing. So we went to the Citadel of Quite Bay. That actually is like a little fortress type of vibe. So it had cannons in there, and that overlooked the Mediterranean as well. And that's pretty cool. That's like an open area, like a little fortress. You could walk all through it, go on the backside and overlook the Mediterranean. You can kind of go semi-high, and they got the little point where you can kind of step over and see some of the city, like just the whole coastal line, and how just how the waves are just crashing against the coastal line. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Just to see.
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then you get to see, I guess, where the light was it light tower? Yeah, the light tower was that, which was one of the ancient 7 wonders of the world, where it used to stand before an earthquake brought it down. But I wish we could have got to see it, but we did get to see the area where it was supposed to be at.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So you got to suspend, disbelief and be like, okay, I can imagine something being in this area. And then we went to the library, which is, world's famous for, I guess the original library back in Alexandria was supposed to have everything in there, all the manuscripts and scrolls and things of that nature. So you got to go to this multi-billion-dollar, library, which is pretty cool. I mean, they got thousands and thousands of books in there.
And it's very high-tech in there.
Yeah. They spent a lot of money on this museum. To give you that interaction and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So like I said, we just did a day trip up there because that's how, we felt that's all we really needed. We had our first time drinking sugarcane.
Yeah.
On the side of like some side street. Our tour guide was like, y'all want sugarcane? Y'all thirsty? And I'm like, I don't do sugarcane. But I tell you, it was delicious.
It was delicious.
And the dude was in the back just shoving in the sugarcane, was extracting the juice or whatever.
Yeah.
It was good. The only thing that could probably made it better if they had some ice in it.
Yeah.
And made it, nice and cool, whatever. But it was cool enough.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, it was delicious. I think did we have 2 cups? We just had 1 cup. I can't remember.
I know we just had one.
Just
large,
had one large, yeah.
One large cup.
But like I said, that was amazing for Alexandria. And that's a very crowded city as well. Yeah. Traffic was kind of skeptical. Yeah, and I'm looking at my driver like, slow down, buddy. Yeah. Like you're like all over the place. But so the next city we went to was Luxor, which is a little south down the Nile. That's another place I almost wanted to cry. Because as soon as we get off the plane, we was there for 2 days. And we went, and the first place we went to was Luxor Temple, which is just beautiful, like this big open area of just massive columns and stuff like that. And then so the tour guide was telling us that that whole area was enclosed.
Yeah.
Like it had a ceiling. Like right now, there's no ceiling. Obviously, it fell or whatever. But literally, he said everything was fully painted, ceiling enclosed. I was like, man, you just wonder like how long did this take to erect, or, especially the paint. So yeah, that was just beautiful.
Yeah.
Just to go into the temple. We learned at the temple, I guess, from the tour guide, he said that Egyptians were the first ones to use like math or to use math or whatever. So I was like, oh, that's an interesting fact. I did not know that. So that's why I like the tour guide field, because they can give you those little tidbits that you might not know, or that you research on your own or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Then we also went to Karnak, which was awesome. When you get in front of Karnak, they have these, like, I think it's Ramses II, but these two huge, like, Ramses II statues that he's sitting down, and you have to walk through and whatever. And then, like you say, you just explore that whole area. It's just amazing. Like,
it's amazing.
I wish we could have saw it at night, but I didn't really feel like it was safe to just go all these places at nighttime. So we usually just stay to the daytime. But I seen pictures of it at nighttime. It looks beautiful. So maybe when I go back, maybe I will do that. So we did that. Then next, we did the Valley of the Kings, which was a very hot tour because there's not a tree or shade in sight.
Oh, yeah. Overwhelming.
Yeah, that was very hot. So this is what I want to come back to when we talk about the actual paintings. So because apparently the Valley of the Kings, they buried underground. So Cairo, Giza, they buried above ground. In the Valley of the Kings, everything's below ground. So since it's below ground, there's obviously no wind, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So a lot of the colors are still vibrant on the walls. And they're just tunnels upon tunnels going back into these chambers and stuff like that. So that's just amazing to me. Like, it's just beautiful. And they got workers in there that they're trying to hustle you a little bit. Like, they had one guy, he said, hey, give me a couple of dollars and I'll let you jump the rope and, walk in. No, bro, no.
Yeah. And we saw a guy, he took him up on that offer. And
I was like, I don't.
But we didn't feel comfortable.
I don't need
that.
Yeah, I don't need that first of a tour. Like, we talking about you taking me on the beaten path. Nobody know where I'm going. Absolutely not. So like I said, guys, be safe out there.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was a beautiful thing just to see the colors that they used. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, you could pay a little extra and you can see King Tut's tomb.
Right.
See his tomb. I think he was in there too. Because his mummy was in there, but this the mask is all in Cairo at the Egyptian Museum. So they have them in two different locations. So make sure you watch out for that. Now they got the Queen Valley of the Queens out there, because we went to I can't remember her name. Starts with an H. I can't pronounce it, but that's the one that had the long walkway going up, and then the temple was built into the mountains. Yeah, that was. Yeah, something like that. I know it starts with an H. I just can't pronounce it, but literally that was beautiful, and just to see what they did. And she's the only, I guess, queen pharaoh that's not buried at the Valley of the Queens. So every other ruler, if there was a woman, had to be buried over there. She's the only one that was allowed to be buried pretty much by herself, pretty much behind Valley of the Kings. So that was pretty awesome, just to learn little tidbits and facts. And just to walk in her temple, her area was just, it's crazy how they built that into the mountains. Like, just the type of knowledge that they had to have is, crazy. I was watching the documentary the other day, like 2 days ago. And it was just like all they did, only tools they had was like rock and then a sharper rock, and that's how they chisel everything in. I'm like, a rock and a sharper rock. I was like, dang, that's crazy. So yeah, they had that. And another thing is they have the Colossi of Menemon, and it's just an open field, but these are just huge statues. And I mean, they're probably about 60 feet, about 40, 60 feet in the air. and you look like an ant compared to it, because we took a couple of shots where our tour guide stepped way back, and we just looked like nothing compared to these statues, whatever. So that was pretty cool. Then he took us around to like a souvenir shop where they have what is it, like alabaster? What is this called? You said alabaster. So we have some pieces that we brought back. These are scarabs, which everybody knows. Egyptians. We have. Show you. We got 2 scarabs, just like that. And then we bought. I'm not sure what material this is. This is another scarab. And then we have King Tut's famous mask in alabaster. So it was pretty cool. So we just bought souvenirs from all over the place. We got Anubis. So I think we bought this in the next city that I was going to talk about, which is Sharm el-Sheikh. So we bought this in Sharm el-Sheikh. And we bought one of these. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So they gave us a little alphabet that we got from Topaz Bazaar. That, so you can try to read, some of the Egyptian hieroglyphics, but, we just trust that's what it says. But yeah, so the next city is Sharm el-Sheikh. Now, we went to Sharm el-Sheikh just for relaxation. So I wanted to put that out there first, because we didn't do we didn't do any of the tour stuff, which they have a monastery in the mountains that will lead you to where Moses supposedly, if you believe in it, got the 10 Commandments. We didn't do on that tour because my wife didn't want to hike in the mountains, which was cool with me. I didn't argue with it. I was like, let's just hang out here. So we just stayed at the resort, and that overlooked the Red Sea, and we got to go to the Red Sea because it was right there. So yeah, it was pretty cool just to do that. Like I said, we didn't do too much there. Went straight from the airport straight to the resort. So if anybody toured Sharm el-Sheikh, please leave a comment. Let me know what y'all think about Sharm el-Sheikh, and what I probably missed out on, and what I need to see whenever I go back. The next city, I'm gonna combine these 2 cities because we pretty much did them in one day. It's Memphis, not Tennessee, but Memphis, Egypt. And Memphis, so this is like an open museum. So that's when they had all the statues outside. That's why it's called an open museum.
Yeah.
But it's just a bunch of statues outside. Now, the real treat, there's 2 treats there. The first treat is it has the second largest Sphinx in the world. And that's right out there. It's right outside. And it's like drastically different than the main Sphinx. And then it's like totally different. I'm like, wow. And then you got the Ramsey statue that's missing part of his feet. I think both his legs are chopped off, but the statue is still huge. It's so huge that they can't even erect it. So they just got it laying down, and you don't appreciate how large it is until you go upstairs.
Right.
And then you are above it, and then you just see it damn. How massive it is. It's literally the length of a house. It's crazy big. So that was pretty cool. And like I said, you probably need about an hour or 2 at the Memphis site. That's all, and that's the only thing we really did at Memphis. And then we went across town to Saqqara. Now, Saqqara is pretty dope. That you will need probably a few hours for that.
Yeah. Because
that has the world's first step pyramid, the Pyramid of Djoser. And that overlooks, we didn't go to it, but you can see it, is the Red Pyramid, which everybody has heard about. And that's on the way on the other side. And that's not part of the Pyramids of Giza, but it's its own standalone pyramid. But the Pyramid of Djoser, it's just like I said, just a step. It's like a layered cake. So it's like a base, then a smaller one, then get to the top. But it's flat. It's flat on the top. So obviously steps. And I was just sitting there, whatever. So obviously, I think it used to be a couple of temples out there that, pretty much then came down a little bit. But that pyramid is still standing. And then you get to walk the area. Yeah. And then you get to see all these pits and tunnels that we did not go in. But, I would hate for somebody to fall in. So yeah, we definitely did all that. And our tour guide just walked us around. It's pretty much like a just like a ruins. It's just like ruins. You can't make out any shapes or anything because it's broken buildings. But, like I said, if you have a tour guide, they definitely explain to you exactly what was going on in that area. But we also went into a building. It was like Himhotep's Museum. Remember when the guy actually, or the tour guide, actually explained the story that was written on the walls. And you know how I was talking about like the fish, the harvest, and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, like we went from room to room, and it read like almost like a comic book because it was just pictures, and you just went around the whole room, I think like clockwise or counterclockwise or whatever, and you got this whole entire story, which was crazy long. So yeah, definitely check that out if you go to, the pyramids of Doja, the step pyramids. So that's like I said, those are the cities that we went to, and those are pretty much the highlights that we seen that we thought was like talk worthy. And there's obviously a billion other things you could probably do in Egypt itself. Like you can go to Aswan, which is another place I want to go.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And there's another city. It starts with an H. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's near the Red Sea. That's supposed to be another luxury, resort area. But I would say some of the good things that we've seen, I would say the historical attractions. That was,
oh yeah, for sure.
That's definitely the number one thing you would, go for there. Anything you think of besides the historical attractions?
I would say the culture of the people too. Like I think that a lot of people go with a certain expectation. Be prepared that it's, really good people there, despite, their current situations. They're generous. Yeah. They're very friendly. Mm-hmm. They're very accommodating. We didn't have any issues with the locals. They were very welcoming, very warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, the beaches of the Red Sea were beautiful.
Yeah.
So definitely, those are my three big outstanding things that I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice. Mm-hmm. Some of the bad things, and I use that word loosely because I love the city. Like I said, it's my number one place I've ever been, but it's very poverty stricken. Like I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect it to be to that level. That was kind of like, I did not know it was like to this level. And then since it's so poverty stricken, that comes the begging and the tips and stuff like that. So, you want to help people out, but it's like, okay, I don't want you to take advantage of me. So, like one person, we went to the airport for Luxor. He literally took our bags from the cab, set it on the floor, and was like, tip. I'm like, bro, you didn't even take it inside. Like, and then, so you give them
they weren't allowed to go inside.
Yeah.
So we didn't discover that until
so it was
after
like
the fact.
So yeah, like so we tipped the driver that drove us to the airport. Then the dude came and got our bags from out the cab, set it on the curb,
literally grabbed without our consent, by the way.
And then another person grabbed the bags from the curb, took it inside, was like, tip? I'm like, bro, like, it almost gets you frustrated, like, man, like, dude, can we, I don't mind tipping, but man, like, and then sometimes you give them a tip, they be like, oh, give me more. Come on, you're American. See, that's going to find your ass without a tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't assume I'm this American tycoon. I'm an oil tycoon. No, man, no. Yeah. Like, I'm just as broke as you, man. Like, leave me alone.
So on the way back, we did.
Oh, you got to grab the bags.
Hold on to our bags.
Oh, man, you damn near got to fight a dude. Be like, hey, man, I got that. I got this. So, you got to get kind of aggressive with that. Yeah. So that's like I said, and that's pretty much like I said, that's the vibe all over the place. But like I said, when we were with the tour guide, she made sure that nobody really hassled us. That made sure that we, had a good experience.
And we were polite. We would say, no, thank you. And just keep it moving.
Keep it moving. So some of the things that we didn't know about this, which was kind of crazy, is that they actually got people that live in the cemetery and they call it the City of the Dead. And I thought that was like, wow, that's how overcrowded they are. That's how overcrowded they are and how poor, some, people are, that they have to live in the cemetery. So that was kind of crazy because that's actually from the cemetery, you can see the mosque of Muhammad Ali. So it's like, damn, that's overlooking that. So that's pretty wild. One of the things is one of the crazy things is pigeons are domesticated. All right, so pigeons are domesticated and they're raised to be eaten.
They're raised on a farm.
Yeah, so they have a pigeon farm. So they clip their wings so they won't fly away, and then they raise them like chickens, and actually treat pigeons better than chicken. So when somebody offers you pigeon, that means that family got a little bit of money.
Right.
So they look at chicken like, nah, we don't even eat that yard bird. We out here doing pigeons. So these ain't those New York City pigeons, but these are supposedly, clean, healthy pigeons. So, try that out. We saw that firsthand. So some of the other things that I didn't really know about was how religious tolerant they are. Like they had all religions there, like in numbers, not just, oh man, we got 100, Jewish people. No, like they have the churches, synagogues, mosques. I mean, they got everything you could think of, the Christian, cathedrals, whatever. So they all religion are pretty much represented in Cairo. So that was kind of amazing.
That was amazing.
And then the last thing that blew me away is like the inventions. So the one thing I do want to highlight is that we took a tour of how they make paper back then. So they took papaya and they dried it, and and this is essentially what it looks like. I'll show you the back. So they just kind of like intertwined the papaya, wait till it dry, and then they put it, and then they put an image on there. So I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
So I had to go, buy one. They actually teach you how to do it. So we actually got to, dry some paper on that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So just the inventions, like I said, the math system, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, so the last thing I want to talk about, well, one of the last things is 3 reasons why you should visit. All right. So one I would say is one of the oldest ancient civilizations in the world. That in itself should get you up to a plane and go.
Or at least have some motivation to stay in the future.
Because literally, I mean, you don't get too much older than that civilization. There ain't too many places on the planet that's still intact, and I just thought that that's something special. It has the longest river, so which some people debate between the Amazon and the Nile, but the last thing I read was the Nile is the longest. So yeah, definitely. And also in pictures, they would have you think the Nile is close to the pyramids. And I think it used to be, but they rerouted it.
Yeah.
They rerouted it to make it go through Cairo more and not so much to the pyramids. But so that's something. And just, like how the whole mummification process was. You get to like learn about it, see it firsthand. So just how that just encapsulated the whole immortality thing, how, Egyptians believed in, spirit, like their soul and their bodies were both important. That, some people believe, oh man, just do what you will with my body. I don't need them. I have my spirit. Like, no, they believe everything was one, that the body still need to be intact when their soul comes back to their body so they can, walk around and stuff. So that's pretty awesome in itself, is to hear about that type of things. And I'm gonna say, like, the last thing is that I want to talk about, just to be aware of, is just of the culture. Please respect the culture. Do your research. I would say the old-fashioned, don't act like an American, but I don't want to say that per se, but definitely, just be, like I said, just know where you are, be conscious of where you are. Something like that. Anything you want to say, beware of?
I would just say safety too, that, you can get haggled quite a bit there. And it comes from all ages. It's from little children, it's from elders, and it's very sad to see, but just, be mindful of that, because that's definitely something that pulls on your heartstrings when you see the little kids coming up to you, begging you on the street. That never is a good sight to see. And they look very malnourished. You just, it breaks your heart. So those are just things to be aware of, that you're going to be approached by multiple people multiple times a day begging you for food, money. So
Yeah, that's it's very sad. Yeah. So, I say one last thing is the traffic. It's very, very bad, very bad. Like you will get stuck in traffic, especially when we was leaving the city and just trying to navigate. Yeah, traffic was bad.
yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that last thing in there for traffic. But like I said, as you can see, that we had a great time in Egypt. We can't wait to go back and get some more stories, see some more places, take more pictures, videos. I can't wait to vlog about it. So like I said, just stay tuned to all that, and I guess I see you guys on the next episode. All right.